Maturity means many things. One of these things is the ability to be patient and to stick with a plan or with a project or stick to some work without giving up easily. Maturity means to never mind the naysayers, the ones who say, you can't do it, it's impossible, or it's very difficult. What are you thinking? What were you thinking? Maturity means to let people have their opinions and respect them, but also know your own mind and to follow through without becoming discouraged, without becoming despondent, without trying to give up every single day. Maturity means to stick it out and see a project through till the end. It's too easy to give up something you're doing, saying it's too difficult, and then take up something new, and then get bored with it, and then try something new, and so on and so forth. Immature people try to change everything around them very quickly. Whether it's a change of job or change of friends, change of life partner, change of spouse. Mature ones work on their relationships. Mature ones know that everyone has difficulties in life. Mature ones know that relationships are difficult, whether it's a relationship with a human or trying to have a relationship with God. Relationships are difficult. In case of two humans, it's difficult because they are two human beings. In case of God, it's a one-sided thing. We find it difficult to have a relationship, so relationships are difficult. But maturity consists of seeing a relationship through and working on that relationship bit by bit, little by little. Maturity also means that we respect others' opinions rather than saying, your opinions don't matter, never mind what you're saying. Maturity means to respect others' opinions, but also understand that you can agree to disagree. Not everybody has to agree with us at all times. And if another person doesn't agree, he's not to be disrespected. He is to be respected. Yes, he has a different point of view, different from mine, but I will respect him. I respect him for this. So mature ones agree to disagree. For instance, let's say there's a husband and wife, and both are mature people. The husband is not at all interested in satsang. The wife is very interested in satsang. Now, if they were immature, they would have regular fights. Mahabharat at home every single day. Each one saying to the other, you should do what I do. You should come to the satsang with me. And he's saying, you should stay at home with me. Look at my face all night long, all evening long. Or you should come for these various outings with me. If they're mature, they will agree to disagree. And they will also compromise. All right, sometimes I shall go to the satsang with you, and sometimes you come with me to where I am going for social outings. If they're mature, they'll work it out. They will not start hating one another. They will not become enemies. They will not become strangers while living under the same roof. Not staying together just for the sake of the kids. They're mature, so they understand that two people can have different interests, radically different interests, and they're able to work it out. Maturity means keeping your word. I gave you my word, and I'm good for my word. I will do it. Immature people are always coming up with excuses and alibis. Well, I couldn't do it because of this, and I couldn't be there because of that. There's so many alibis, so many excuses. But the mature one keeps his promise, he keeps his word. Of course, we cannot always keep our word. We cannot always fulfill our promises. We are human beings. We have our limitations. But maturity does consist of keeping one's word. My Gurudev told me, if you have advertised the lecture for 7 p.m., then start at 7 p.m. There will be people who will say, start 15 minutes later because people are not here yet. But you see 1 or 2 people sitting there, you start on time. You have made a commitment to these people. Why pay attention? Why pay more attention to those who are not even here yet, waiting for them, and not pay any attention to the ones who did bother to show up on time? Be punctual, he said. Keep your word. You said you will start on time, you better start on time. He himself was extremely, extremely punctual. He was extremely mature, divinely mature, always keeping his promises, always keeping his word. So maturity means to keep our word, to keep our promise, and to really work at it. I am going to work at keeping my promise. I'm supposed to be there at that time? All right, so I'd better leave home at this time. So it means keeping your word and keeping your promises. Maturity means to respect others, to show respect for others, and to truly respect other people. Regardless of color, regardless of religion, regardless of their political affiliation, regardless of everything, regardless of their educational background, mature ones respect others. Mature ones are also willing to wait. Immaturity says, I want it right now. Instant gratification. Maturity says, I shall wait. I will bide my time. It will come. It will come. So, mature ones are willing to wait. They have a plan in mind. They work on it, and they are willing to wait to see the result. Immature ones are impatient. I want it right now. I'm not willing to wait for it. We see that everything in nature follows its course. In the summer, it's hot. In the winter, it's cold. A gardener knows when the rainy season will be. So, Mali sinche saw ghada, ritu aaye phal hoye. A saint has said that a gardener can water the plants, water the fields with 100 potfuls of water, and yet when it is time for the tree to bear fruit, it's only then that the tree bears fruit. It's only when the season comes, the fruit-bearing season comes, that you will see fruits growing on that tree. Everything takes time. But we have become very impatient these days in this culture. We are very impatient. We want everything right away. But maturity says, mature ones say, I'm willing to wait. So maturity means many things. It's not just one thing. It's many things. Maturity means having a plan, working it out, and going through challenges, setbacks. There are many setbacks. As we follow a plan which is worth following, there will be many setbacks. But never mind, the mature one says, never mind. I am working on something worthwhile. So if there's a setback, so what? I shall get up and I shall go again. The immature one says, let me just leave it. It's not going to matter. It's not going to amount to anything, so let me just abandon. The immature ones are always abandoning projects, abandoning jobs, abandoning people. There's a lot of abandonment in society. We see there's a lot of abandonment. There are a lot of children growing up without a mother, and more especially without a father. He just got up and left, or she just got up and left. I can't deal with this, so I shall leave. That is immaturity. That is immaturity. A man says, I am babysitting my children. That is immaturity. The mature one says, this is my responsibility. I'm not babysitting. I hire babysitters. I pay them $10, $15 an hour. These are my own kids. I must take care of them. These are my responsibility. They're my responsibility. These are my duties. I'm not doing anyone a favor. So, maturity shows itself to us in many different ways. Immaturity also reveals itself. No matter how much we may say, I'm mature, but our conduct, our course in life will show us. It shows to others, and it should show us whether we are mature or immature. To gain success in worldly life or in spiritual life, devotional life, maturity is of the utmost importance. Many times we are likely to say, well, no one is looking. Who's going to know? But in our heart of hearts, we know someone is looking. We know our Lord is looking. We know that we will not be able to respect ourselves. So maturity says you will not be able to look at yourself in the face if you do this. Immaturity says, who's looking? Nobody's going to know. No one is the wiser for this. So in front of people, the immature one, in front of people, acts in one way. By himself, he acts in another way. The mature one is always the same, whether he is alone or in front of multitudes. Success belongs to the one who is mature, because he has worked at developing his willpower. He has worked on his resolutions, and he has learned to be patient, and he has learned to be diligent. He knows there is no free meal in the world. He doesn't fall for get-rich-quick schemes. There are a dime a dozen. There are small ones and there are huge ones. There are small-time swindlers, and then there are big-time swindlers. There are all types, medium-size also. Mature ones know that there is no shortcut, and diligence is essential. So, success in life, whether it's worldly life or spiritual life, belongs to those who are mature. बोलिए लाडली लाल की जय.